Bauer arguing with each other. And so, for whatever reason, I just got all the Aubrey Huff, who was a tool, and Bauer going back and forth, and all the people that were liking their tweets, which was annoying. So I didn't get to the good stuff. And then I got the little girl at a rally yesterday who was all of about 19, explaining why the Aunt Jemima pancake syrup bottle should have never been changed. So I got the little blonde girl on my Twitter feed all night last night, and the Aubrey Huff, Trevor Bauer. So welcome to my Twitter life.
It doesn't look like your standard Twitter feed. Something's off.
No,
for sure.
Something is way off.
Heck, I don't have that problem when I go into Twitter. I see, Twitter's, the tweets come in when I go in, or if I'm on there, like more, there's a more feed that's come through, and then I'll refresh it. And then once in a while, yes, I'll probably have a little, maybe one or two here that'll just be more repetitive, in a way. But I get a pretty good variation on my feed. So, then again, it's mostly sports anyway. So, but yeah, I don't have like this, like you're saying, like your instance with that reply constant and just, Trevor Bauer and stuff. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start like muting people so that way I can get to other tweets, not just the same people over and over and over.
Yeah.
So that would help a lot.
I think you should submit a complaint to fix the algorithm.
Yeah.
So,
but here we go.
One more question just before we go on to our next topic. One of the things that I was just thinking about, and last night I'm like, digesting all of this and watching SportsCenter. We had, it just was like whole proposal and coming to agreement was so drawn out, like a month and a half process. That was not fun at all. And now we have terms that are agreed upon to return starting July 1st, and everybody report to camp. Are we now that we have terms that are agreed and players going back, teams going back, and having a season start towards the end of July? Are we going to be able to just see it go ahead and play out smoothly from here and without hiccups? Or are we going to probably see a little bit of that tug and war like we were with getting this a proposal and coming to agreement to have MLB return?
It's baseball, right? So you asked me a question that says smooth and baseball all together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing with baseball is smooth. Ever, never, ever. There'll be something. But you know what? The good thing is they've agreed to come back. So that's the key part. Everything else will be worked out. Look, there's nothing that's good with everything. Excuse me. The NBA is having their issues. NCAA is coming up with people testing positive left and right, football-wise. The NFL has people testing positive. The NHL has people testing positive for COVID. There's players opting out of the bubble. There's players in the NHL that working out in groups that, can no longer – nothing as we know it will be nice and smooth ever again. There will be a hiccup. My question is to you, do you think baseball is ready to handle the hiccups that come in a way where the players, the owners, the managers, the media can all work together?
It's twofold, I think. I'm not completely positive that they are ready, but it comes down to this. If MLB has a plan in place, I think it can work out. What that plan is, I don't know. Will we know? Maybe not fully. But I think if they have some type of plan of how, making a return, how if these different instances were to occur, how they're going to handle it, they have, all these procedures in place. Yes, it'll be maybe not completely ready, but it'll work out. If they don't have a plan in place, they don't know what they're, really what they're doing, and is this kind of just putting it together as it goes? Then the answer is no. Okay? So I think we won't really fully know until the actual, they'll actually start playing, not camp. Because we really, we'll see maybe some hiccups there, we'll maybe see some struggles. Granted, it's camp and it's training, so you're going to see that anyway. But we won't really see the significance of it until they start playing 1 or 2 weeks in, and how really it's going to be impacting the team and the game. And then just to piggyback on that, so they're gonna have, of course, they're gonna have their issues. Nothing's gonna be super smooth. But are they gonna be? Is they gonna be without a fight? Who knows? Maybe not. There was a lot of fight back and forth and just coming to an agreement. But like you mentioned, we are having athletes that's positive throughout other leagues, and we already had a report yesterday of three Rockies testing positive for the virus. 2 were asymptomatic, and 1 was actually displaying symptoms. It's going to happen, and just to go back to our previous conversations we've had on the show, you're going to end up getting to a point, to where you're just, everybody's pretty much going to get it, and you're just going to, just like the flu, you're going to be playing with it, or you're going to be exposed to it, and you're just going to, be part of it, be around it. There's really no avoiding it, especially if you're in sports or in a contact sport type of situation.
Yeah. There's something else that you said that stood out with me, to be honest with you. You said pitchers can't, go to their mouth anymore. And here's my question. Does that really matter? Because they lick their fingers and touch a ball. The ball's going to be touched by 18,000 people anyway. So that little bit of saliva, so they're not going to sweat on baseballs anymore? They're not going to. We're going to wipe off.
Exactly my thought yesterday.
I was just curious. I don't know. Not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying people should lick their hands and touch balls. I'm just saying there's some things where it makes you wonder. So if I go to my mouth to touch the ball, that's worse than me tripping sweat on the ball and then pitching, and then the catcher catching it and then throwing it back. Are they throwing out new baseballs every pitch? So is the catcher going to catch it and just drop it and push it over the side, and then the ball boy's going to come out with the wet nap, pick it up, and drop that ball in the disinfectant? Exactly how are they going to do that?
Good question. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, really, what difference is it really going to make? I guess it can make some little bit of a difference, avoid, that, immediate contact, or, should, because I guess who knows if you touch the ball, tap saliva on it, and then somebody touches it, how long is it virus, active there, and somebody touches it, they're going to contract the virus, all of those details. I don't know. I do know and did hear that they're going to have, instead of doing that, pitchers will have a wet rag, I guess, to help with that. To lose that.
So on sweaty balls that are pop flies, you just stand under it and then you just let it drop because you don't have to catch it because it was already going to be an out. So you pick up a wet wipe, pick up the ball, and then throw it. Look, there's going to be inherent stuff that's going to happen. It's time to stop pretending like certain things aren't going to be certain things. So
yeah, no,
I'm just saying.
I totally see your point of view. Exactly. When I was, when I heard that and going through this, I'm like, well, yeah, totally. Like, how, you're doing this, how is that going to affect this other thing, So, like, the spitting, they can't, they won't be able to spit. Like, so many other things that are part of that. So, yeah, I don't know. Actually, for that, I don't have an answer for you. I not typically do have answers for you, but not for that one.
Hey, I just find it all curious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
I'm just as curious
as long
as
as
you
it's back,
are.
right?
So I guess exactly. We'll find out.
Yeah.
How that all happens. So with positive tests coming out for athletes, we also have, like you mentioned, NBA. We have players testing positive. We just had Joe Schutz and test positive in Serbia. So we still have, and we're starting also to have in the NBA players opting out of the bubble for different reasons. It's from what I've seen, at least the three that I am aware of. They're doing it because they had an injury, they don't want to risk injury. David Barton, he's going to be free agency at the end of the season. We have Avery Bradley, who wants to spend time with his family and not risk contracting 3 months. I mean, possibly, bring something back, do it to his family situation. So it's a lot of those, it's those type of instances that players are deciding not to play or opt out out of returning to basketball. Some players that have been injured and they're just, they're still going and rehabbing from their injuries, and they're just, some are saying it's like, I just don't want to. They can probably be at a point to where they could be active, but they don't want to risk playing. How much more are we going to be seeing this? So the deadline's today. I don't know what the time is for that deadline, but the deadline today is the last day for any NBA players to opt out. Do you believe that we're going to see more opting out, or do you think this is pretty much it?
I think we're pretty much, the players that are out there still that have talked about it, I don't think we're going to see any surprise players pop up. I still think there are people like Victor Oladipo, who had surgery, who's contemplating it. What you're not seeing are superstars from teams that have an opportunity to win the title opt out. Also, I think the other thing that you're going to see is a lot of players are going to opt in because they know that if it's one of the teams outside on a bubble, if they're in a position 4 or 5 games in that they're not going to win, they're probably going to be rested and sat on the bench anyway. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about them participating. And I'll use the Suns as an example. And by the way, 2 of the Phoenix Suns tested positive for coronavirus. So we don't know, but that's out there. Dwayne Rankins, beat writer for the Suns, reported that yesterday and got it out to everyone. But no, I don't think there's going to be any surprise opt-outs. The part of the reason why the NBA put this out too long is because they knew people would test positive. And like you mentioned, Nikola Jokic, he should actually be able to get on a plane and get back to the Nuggets facility and back in this country by the end of this week. So then they'll get him back healthy. I'm not saying he could have been asymptomatic. They didn't really break down if he was sick because of it or if he just tested positive and was asymptomatic. So they'll get everything